trying to sort something out. Don't know why you're coming in here. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Right, I'm back. Bloody hell. Right. Wonderful. Probably one of my best commentary performances at the start of a race, and that happens. Sorry, guys. I apologise for the start of the race for no commentary or game sound. Hopefully that is better. I've now got my Twitch chat up, so let me know if there are any further issues. Anyway, jumping in now, just to give you a little debrief at the start. Gaius Mikkelsen is holding his own right now in P1, but Apex keeps all over the rear of him, looking for moves left, right, and centre. And he's going to really want to make possibly a move down this straight now. Turbo Sphinx looks like he's struggling also down in P4 right now. Obviously, he did make his positions up very early on, but it's dropped back a little bit as now Apex is going for that move into turn 1. Looks pretty simple, and he is going to make that before turn 1. Looking back as well, Turbo Sphinx looking for a move on Alex Kuma, but he is dropping back his Turbo, and this is not going to be good for his championship battle. Labradan, another guy doing a really good job right now in P5. Mr. Elite Fear coming up through the pack. Jack also at the start of the race, I do believe, did have an issue, and he has dropped down, possibly due to a little collision with another driver. As Mike and Make Sum Up have a little tussle there through the end of Sector 1. And he may even go for a move down around the outside. No, Mike doesn't want to go for it there. It's sensible enough to sit back. But he's going to want to make the move on them medium tyres, as I think he may do here, down the inside. He's going to make a bold move in the second sector, and it is going to work out for him, and he's going to make it through. But the Aston Martin's not giving up just there, and he is going to try and go right back around the outside. But it looks like Mike has made that move happen. The Aston Martin's going all the way off down the inside, but there's no room there, and he's going to lose a couple of positions due to that. And that is not good news for the Aston Martin driver. What happened with Smithy? I think, don't quote me on this, but he may have had an incident with, I think it may have been Supra. They looked far behind, so it could have been Supra. I don't exactly know because they were in the back of the picture, but it was, or even maybe Polo actually, because he was up at the front. So maybe it was Smithy and Polo who had an incident, which was unfortunate to see. Smithy definitely has that pace, a couple of those top positions, so I'm sure he'll try and come back towards the end. But Apex looking for a move there. Looking for a move there into turn 5, but nothing to be had. I think his best opportunity in the second sector really is into turn 7 here. Sending one down the inside is definitely a viable move, but it is, of course, comes with the risk. Where realistically, I think being patient and going in turn 1 is the best move you can do at the time being. For the time being, Apex keeps still following behind 5/10 gap, doing a brilliant job right now to stay with the leader of Gattis, who's definitely showing a lot of great pace right now, and is going to want to break that DRS train because I think he does have that pace as he is pulling away. Especially through that second sector, but that once again could be due to running higher wings, and that is allowing him to do that through the twisty section of the track. But I'm sure 4/10, just under 5/10 gap, Apex will go for the move down to turn 1. They're just slipstreaming each other with DRS, and I think this is the best move for them right now. But Gattis actually is defending into turn 1, but it doesn't look like he is going to be able to defend that successfully, and Apex gets around him. Looking backwards, Turbo Sphinx making a move down the inside of Alex Kuma. That is good news for him, and he's going to want to try and head off from this pack with Labradan all over the rear gearbox of that McLaren, and Alex Kuma gets a penalty, and that swings things back in the way of Labradan and Mr. Elite Fear. That's also makes Sum Up getting a penalty. Was it? No, I think it was Supra, sorry. I think it was Supra there. He did get a penalty, unfortunately. That's not good news for them. And now we're going to spectate with the McLaren, who's going to look for a move on the Williams of Mike. Can he make a move down into turn 7? No, he can't. Just too far back. He's going to hold on until presumably turn 1 will be his best opportunity to go for that move. Looking up front once again, though. Gattis Mikkelsen, 2/10 gap, so you're definitely holding a much tighter, closer gap than what Apex does, and this will be making his engine very hot, which is not going to be good news for him. It's going to be destroying his tyres, and it is going to be obviously heating up that engine. That's a Turbo Sphinx with a 3-second time penalty, and that's even more good news for the Haas and Ferrari and P5 and P6. Gattis Mikkelsen is going to go for a move down the inside, and that is very good to see, and that is Apex Capes dropping down, unfortunately, but he is going to be, obviously, be able to hold on to that DRS for one more laps to come. But I think the big question is when people are going to be going for pits, because Gas does have the opportunity here to take that undercut and get Apex out of DRS range, and then just basically have it so all cars are battling in terms of pace and not DRS if he can break away. So it's going to be interesting to see who blinks first out of that top 2 pack. And of course, the battle of P3 looking pretty spicy right now, with 4 cars all battling for that position, but 2 cars with penalties. I think we're going to see a lot more penalties to come, so you know it's not all done and dusted for them guys yet. They've just got to be careful with their track limits. Jack also coming through the pack right now. I think he will maybe, I know he's on this hard, so he's going to run a long stint now, and then maybe go for a shorter, medium stint towards the end if he can catch up to the guys at least in P3 and maybe bring home a podium for Mercedes. I think he'd be very glad with that. But that is Jack. Apex Case anyway, 4/10 gap is looking likely it's going to be a move again down into turn 1, but the gap is a little bit longer, a little bit larger, and Apex is flashing, so I don't think he will go for the move. So he's going to sit behind once again through here, and he's going to want to just save as much as he possibly can before going for a move and risking any damage for a move. There's no point for the time being, and he's going to sit in behind. Where's my keys? There we go. It's literally just battle for P3 and P1. Looks like doesn't like many of the guys having a battle, but I think Jack will possibly be coming up to the back, and then McLaren and Polo will probably also come back onto the rear of Andy Ring and be looking for that move, possibly on the next lap. Let's go back on board though with Apex Capes coming through the triple right-hander, and these 2/10 behind, even with that jet wash of the car, which is going to be absolutely ruining Apex's handling. He's still staying very close to the driver ahead, and is possibly going to go for a move. That's a 9-second now for TTV Syndical. That is not good news for him once again. Alice Kuma. Not Alice Kuma. Apex keeps looking for a move round the outside of Gattis. It's going to be a nice one into turn 1, both side by side. Apex is got ahead, but he is. Oh, yes, he has got ahead up fully. Very nice move done there by Apex. Really, really lovely to see. And that also brings Alice Kuma up ahead of Turbo Sphinx into the P3 position. But we have Make Some up going into the pits on a. This Polo ahead of Andy Ring, but we do have the Aston Martin coming in for a pit stop. Looks like he's going on to mediums, and he does have that wing damage, as that is contact ahead, and that is Andy Ring, who looks like he's had a spin. Possible avoidance there by Mike, which that may have to look at his penalty towards the end of after the race. It looks like maybe avoiding the Haas took him a penalty there, but Polo is all over the rear of the Williams ahead of Mike, and is he going to be able to look for a move through Sector 2? Doesn't look likely yet. 4/10 gap, not too healthy for the time being to go for that move, but here we go. Gattis is neither of them pitted yet, but Gattis is going to look for a move. Down to turn 1, 5/10 gap, really closing in. Apex has very little battery, and it looks like Gattis is going to go for that move into turn 1. He has gone for that move into turn 1, down the inside. Apex is trying to hold that one all the way around the outside. The camera angle's woeful. looking at a pit wall, and Gattis has got ahead of ahead of Apex Capes. Apex Trading Capes trying to fight back, but there's nothing to be had there. Let's go back to Alice Kuma, who is... Oh, Turbo Sphinx. Turbo Sphinx has had an incident there. No wing damage, it seems, but he has had an incident. We now have Alice Kuma ahead of Labrat down with Mr. Theory, and then Turbo Sphinx down in P6, crucially ahead of Jack right now, but it's not going to be good news for him in terms of that championship fight against Apex. He needs to really score a couple of points. I know these are teammates, but what they're both going to want to bring home the crown, but that is not good news for not good news for Josh in P6 right now. Let's look on board with the front two. Anyone going to be boxing? They are both going to be boxing. So Apex Capes thinks best call here is to stay with Gas, and I do agree with him. Best call now is to stay with the Red Bull ahead. Don't want to get time penalties. It look like they've done that pretty safely. And Alice Kim is going to be able to take the lead right now of the race. Let's see what these guys do go on to. So Gattis going on to a set of hard tyres. Looks like both of them will go on to those hard tyres. Yes, they will. It's the same strategy from them two guys. Alice Kuma and Labradan going round with Jack still on his set of hards. And these guys surely will be catching them on his stints. Turbo Sphinx also into the pits. He will be going on to a fresh pair of hards as Polo goes round, but he's a full pit stop behind the leaders, so he's not really quite there yet. Big Van Balsik and TTV Syndical battling for position. Obviously, TTV Syndical pitted last lap, and he's going to go for that move now into P9. Very nice to see. And Big Van Balsik going to have to concede that position. Mike coming out the pits now. They all look like they're on either medium or hard, depending on what tyre they did start on. Let's go back on board though with a cheeky little Apex Capes, who is 8/10 behind now. Is he going to be able to hold the DRS to Gattis Mikkelsen, who is also ahead? Is he going to be able to hold that? He's 8/10 behind now. You're going to maybe have to use some battery here to stay within, but it does look like he will just about stick it, and this will be the correct strategy from him if so. And if he can do that, this is definitely going to be an enjoyable race to the finish line, as anything really can happen as long as you're in that DRS range. Apex Capes 8/10. Oh yeah, about around 9/10, but he has made sure he's in that DRS zone, and he's now going to be able to close back up on the straight towards his race rival of Gattis, who's only 5 seconds behind Jack, surprisingly so. Yeah, these guys might catch Jack depending on what Jack has got in terms of his strategy. Let's drop back though. Have we got any battles going on? Turbo Sphinx around the outside though there, just cutting to the end of the battle there. And he does make that move on. Labradan is now going to be hunting all the way after the Ferrari ahead. He needs these positions. He's hungry for these positions to try and bring himself back in to a decent point scoring position for the team and everything. But there's someone's 3 wide into turn 1 with Mike holding it. But no. Andy Ring gets P1 P10 with Mike holding on for P11, but Polo's looking for that move down the inside in P12. Is he be able to make that move stick? It's so close between them two guys. There's a little contact, it does look like, but I think Mike gave all the room he possibly could have. And that is just hard racing from them guys. It does look like, and that is Jack into the pits, so there's going to be no disruption between these two front guys. Jack is going to play his own strategy now for the most amount of points he possibly can get, and this is looking likely that Apex Capes will go for a move down into turn 1. It's a very small gap. He's pulling up onto the right hand side of the track and making that move stick down on the inside line, and then you can switch back over onto the racing line before taking the corner at full racing speed. Jack is trundling down the pits now. Where is he going to come out? That's Mr. Fear Elite and Turbo Sphinx looking for moves, and that is Turbo making that move down the inside. Jack going to come likely out behind TT Syndical, so he's got a lot to gain, but he's on those fresher medium compound tyres, which is going to be great news for him to catch that time up, catch that about 7 or 8 second gap up to the big group for P3 ahead. That is really good news for him. Just drop back as well. Little battle at the moment between a couple of the... Why is it? So yeah, Polo being really threatened right now by Mike and makes some up, but there's no moves to be had for the time being. Gats Mickelson also reasonably far off Apex, and Apex will be able to hold that position down into turn 1, and that is going to be good news for him, as I think that is the first time he's managed to keep position down into turn 1 since DRS had been activated. Oh, little bit out of shape there, and Andy Ring does lose the position to the McLaren. He may even lose the position to the Williams of Mike. It's very possible that this will happen, and Mike will be up into P11. Is it going to be now, or is it going to be later? It's very close between them guys at the moment. And coming down the straight, it does look like the Haas looking out for a move. Down the inside goes the Haas Andy Ring, and it's very close to McLaren, looking to keep himself in there. He's going to look to put his nose in there also into turn 2, but there's nothing to be had there. But he's still with his nose in, trying to hold it round. Can he go over the cutback line into turn 4? Is it going to happen? Doesn't look likely, and he's going to have to settle in into P10 as Mike does lose position to make some up in the Aston Martin. Let's go ahead. Apex Cape still holding his own in that P1 position. Good job from him. And now it is going to be Gattis' turn to look for a move as Smithy is possibly, or is likely about to be lapped down into... yeah, he is going to be lapped on the pitch straight, and that's basically his race over, unfortunately. And that is Gattis looking for a move down the inside of Apex Capes, and that is the move stuck. But Apex is trying to fight it around the outside. I don't think he's going to have the pure pace for it, and he does not have the pure pace for it. And there, Apex is going to drop behind all over the gearbox, to be fair, of Gattis. And he may even look for a move down into turn 4, but Gattis defends, and that is going to compromise Gattis' line down into turn 4, now 5. And now into turn 6, is going to be a move from Apex all over the rear. Is he going to look for the move? No, he's not. He's going to wait for the DRS straight. Looking back, we've got the Haas losing position there, but is he going to be able to get him back on the straight? Doesn't look like it. He's obviously at the detection line being ahead, so he's now going to have to defend from the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin goes down the inside, very daring move. Is he going to make that stick? It's very close between them guys. It's going to be... oh, yes, the Haas does stay ahead of Andy Ring, so he's holding on to some points, which is good news for him. And this is Jack looking now for a move. Desperate times for Mr. Elite Fear as Gattis gets a penalty. Gattis gets a penalty. And that is him with a 3-second apex. All he has to do now is just keep his car pointing in a straight line as Jack gets ahead of Mr. Elite Fear. But all you got to do is keep his car in a straight line and get no penalties, and this could be a win for Apex Capes. Gattis gets ahead of Apex there into turn 1. Once again, it's a recurring theme. Feels like we're on deja vu here with the amount of times people are being overtaken down into turn 1, but hopefully we will see some more overtakes throughout sector 2 and 3. So that would really be nice to see. Some guys going for some daring moves, especially in turn 6. It's a very nice place to make a move. Apex Gibbs does not look like he's going to make a move into there, but we may see some other guys looking for a move or two. Jack, of course, coming to the field right now, so he's going to want to make one, as Mike is looking likely to be going for a move down the inside of the Aston Martin. Is he going to make that move work? He's almost going to go for a move on the Haas, but it doesn't look like he's going to drop back, and he's going to sit behind. Oh no, he might try and fight it, but it doesn't look like he is going to be quite there to make it into a decent position. as we now still have Apex Capes 3/10 behind the Red Bull of Gattis Mikkelsen, who is, I wouldn't say struggling, but he does not have the pace I think we all thought he would have. And Apex may be able to grab home another win, as long as I haven't just jinxed it there. It does look like we'll see a move here between them two as Apex goes around the outside into turn one. Gattis tried to stick his nose in, and Apex does leave the room. Very smart of him there in case there was a bit of a T-bone. But Apex is going to try and hold it down the inside, push as hard as he can, but as fair as he can. Coming now through turn four, going to try and bring it all the way around about the outside of him, but doesn't look like he can. And that is unfortunate for Apex Capes. Is he going to go for a move into turn 6? No, he's not. Clearly not as good as he thinks he is. Could be going for a move there, but you know, isn't going to go for the move. Just sorry, Apex. Just absolutely violated. No, you did a good job, man. Keep it up. Could be a win here on the cards. Whoa. Mr. Thoroughly looking for the move on TTV Syndical. Obviously got a big penalty right now, so maybe no points for him today, and that's going to be bad news for him. But here we go, Apex Capes against Gattis Mikkelsen for the 20th consecutive lap. Is it going to be 21? Is it going to be 21? As Gattis goes further back again, and then Apex makes that move down the inside, gets back on the racing line, and takes the Apex as perfectly as he possibly can. And Apex is now back up into P1. And I'm sure he's going to be very happy about that. Let's look at actually some of the drivers. So Alex Kuma and Labrador doing an unbelievable job right now to be where they are. I'm sure two driver of the day contenders could be them two. No DNFs also, so big pat on the back to everyone. No DNFs so far, and that'd be nice to see us have no DNFs towards the end of the race, as we have seen a very big host of them in the past couple of races, through not too much fault of the drivers, just, you know, things happen sometimes, and you know, just a couple of silly mistakes. But I'm hoping we have been able to iron out on that, and now we're back to the absolutely competitive racing as we always see at Qatar. On the game is a very nice track to drive and does produce some brilliant racing, especially down the main straight where the main overtaking zones are. Here we go, Gattis Mikkelsen going to be looking for another move. Is this one going to be the one? He can make a move on. Looks like it is. 4/10 gap, and this will be the move possibly down the inside. Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Yes, he is down the inside. Going to be side by side into turn one. Apex trying to swing it all the way around the outside, doing a great job there. And into turn two now. Gattis is also starting to still hold it out. It's still side by side. Coming through turn three, still side by side. Is it going to be turn four? Side by side as well. Brilliant racing by these two fellas. Down to turn four, it's still side by side. But is Apex going to have to drop off? No, he's not. He's going to try and stick it in there. Into turn four, and now onto turn five, still side by side. Unbelievable racing by these guys. Apex keeps holding that. There's a little bit of contact, nothing too serious though, and they are still almost bumping wheels coming through turn, I don't know even what it is now, turn 7, making it still side by side. Apex keeps round the outside, making a move now, trying to make the move in down the inside into turn 9, still keeping his nose in there. It's absolutely unbelievable racing, but Gattis Mikkelsen comes out on top, but Apex keeps is now surely going to have a shot down into turn 1 for another move. Brilliant racing by them guys. Great to see how well they're doing, really. But is there going to be another move possibility for Apex Capes? Does look like there will be. So yes, right. Here we go, Apex Capes. Around the outside, another great move. And on lap 23, it is another swap for the lead. I don't know how many swaps for the lead there have been, but it must be a record in CRF4. It's unbelievable. Looking back as well, some of the guys that are putting themselves in some brilliant positions here. Labratan is one, doing a brilliant job right now, looking for a P4 possibly with penalties. Also, oh, and that's Mr. Theory having a mistake. And they've dropped back. Let's also have a look actually at the penalties. Let's have a little look at the penalties and see how everyone's doing towards the end of the race. So as it stands, it's going to be Apex who's going to win this race. In P2, it will be Gattis. P3, Ales Kuma. In P4, it looks like at the moment it'll be Labradan, but it's going to be tough for him to hang on. He's to push 100% towards the end of the race. P5 will be Josh. P6 will be Jack. P7 is likely to be Polo with P8. And it's, I mean, after that, it's very mixed, but anyone could get anywhere in the tactical positions with all the penalties back there. Let's have a look on board with the leaders, though. Gattis Mikkelsen. Is he going to look for a move? Actually, we've got the McLaren making a move on TTV Syndical. On TTV Syndical does look like he does have some wind damage, and that is going to be costing him valuable time. Compared to these guys, and he's going to be trying to hold on to some points, but it's going to be very tough for him to hold on to them points. Down to turn 1 though, are we going to see another change in position? Yes, we do. Gas is going very quickly down turn 1, making some aggressive moves, and it's now kicking off at the front. P1 goes back to Gattis Mikkelsen, and Apex Keeps is going to follow him behind. Very, very interesting stuff. I mean, who would have not thought these two guys were going to be battling for the lead? I think these two were definitely on the pace for it, but I think Ales Kuma is the surprise candidate here. P3, brilliant job by him to be in that position, showcasing some great pace, and that's the Red Bull of Gattis Mikkelsen dropping behind. Now, is that tactical? Let me think about it. Lap 25 will be Gattis, lap 26 will be Apex, lap 27 will be Gattis. 28 Gapex. Yes, that could be tactical. Early tactics could have just been played there by Gattis, letting through Apex, because they do swap every lap. Gattis will be leading on the final lap. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see there, because I think he may be just hoping that Apex does get a penalty towards the end of the race, which is a very big possibility, as TTV Syndical does get another penalty, and that is bad news for him. I'd also like to mention that just a big thank you to all of our sponsors. We obviously do have a selection of sponsors, including NordVPN, Xidact PCs, we have Pitlane Prints, Dubby, Rogue Energy, Fiverr, 3D Wrap. I mean, I think I've gone through them all, but very much big thank you to all those sponsors we do have. Wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. Being as successful as we are, it is very close down to turn 1, down to turn 2. We'll carry on with that in a second, as Gattis Mikkelsen is going to be holding on into turn 3, turn 4 now. Is he going to hold his own into P1? Yes, he is. He's made that move stick, and Apex Keeps will hold in behind. Is he going to look for a move, though, down to turn 7? No, he's not. He's going to hold back. Anyway, as I was saying, very big thank you to those sponsors, and you will be able to find our affiliate links for discount codes within our Discord, as we do on the Twitch account. So make sure you do come and join us over there, and that'll be muchly appreciated. And obviously, if you do want to get involved in the races, or even just have a general chat, if you just do want to watch these races, make sure to have a look at those Twitch links, and make sure you come and join us in our Discord. Also, we do have a save up to 69%, plus get 3 months extra for NordVPN as a Christmas deal. So make sure you do come and check us out there. Definitely, you know, can get some discounts for Christmas if you do want a renewal on your NordVPN subscription. So make sure you do come and check us out for that. As I mean, personally, I'd be definitely going for that. You know, saves the 69% off with a 3-month extra deal on it. Seems pretty reasonable. So yeah, make sure you come and check us out there, and that will be on our Discord server. Make sure you DM any of us who may be involved if you don't see the actual promo, but we will obviously get you sorted out, so make sure you DM us in the Discord channel. Also looking in the future, before the end of this race, as we come into the dying ends of CRF4 round 9 around Qatar, we do have the remaining Qatar races for all of our tiers. Start next one will be Saturday, 7:30 GMT. Sunday will be tier 1, 7:30 GMT. Also, I believe it is So yeah, make sure to come and check us out then, and then also obviously Tier 3 on Monday at 7:30 GMT, and then we're back for round 10 out of 12 rounds. So it's coming to the final couple of races. As I've been saying, the championship is really hotting up, and it is hotting up at the front right now, coming towards the end of this race. Who is going to come out on top? Now down into turn 1, we do have Gattis going to be looking for a move. Is he going to? I'm sure he's going to be pushing that ERS, trying to look for a move. He's going to give it a little dive down the inside. Yes, he is down the inside. Apex has let that happen, but he's going to try and hold it around the outside with the extra speed. Yes, he is now inside into turn 2. Apex keeps holds that through turn 3 now. It's still very close, side by side, knocking wheels down into turn 4. Apex keeps got the outside line. He's going to probably have to give this one up, as he does very smartly. He's going to give that position up. And live to fight another day, and there's going to be no move into turn 6. I'm hoping for a turn 6 move, to be fair. A little dive bomb. Got to see a little dive bomb. Ooh, looks like Labradan is losing out to Turbo Sphinx, so he's going to drop down. But is he going to stay with for that P5 position on Jack? We'll see towards the end. Polo looks like he's really secured that P7 with Mike in P8 and Supra in P9. It does look like, and maybe Syndical may grab a P10 if he possibly can. Smithy gets another three second. Not been a great race for him. No safety cars to be said, to be had to this race's name, which we don't usually see. We usually see a lot of safety cars. Well, you know, 2 or 3 safety cars throughout races, but there's been no safety car around Qatar today on this track, and you know, I think it's been a reasonably clean race. I think that actually it's been very clean racing, especially between these top 2. It's going to be possibly another change in position, and it will be Gattis defending, but Apex is going to be around the outside. It's going to be Hammer and Tong into turn 1. Apex keeps around the outside. He's going to want to get that extra speed, and he does, and he's down the inside into turn 2, and he's made that position work. But now it is going to be an interesting tactics game. Is Apex Capes going to let him through? Guys down the inside, that may have been tactics. Apex Capes holding him behind. He knows he needs to get him on the last lap, and maybe that was the best move for him to make it on track in case Gattis does have that 3-second time penalty removed at the end of the race. So he's sticking behind now. He's going to go for a move, most likely on the final lap, as Mike gets ahead of TTV Syndical. So he's made that move work, and now Supra going to look for a move. Let's stay on board with Supra. Set 8/10 gap. I think people are lifting here. Possibly because of the fuel situation around this track, and people probably would have been expecting a safety car, which may see some people crawl to the line in the final lap. But is Super going to make a move? No, he's not. 8/10 back, possibly getting some big lifts in. Does look like he is, to try and save some fuel. Now coming on to the final lap, the big one. The battle for the lead coming down onto the final lap. Let's discount Gattis' 3 seconds of the time being in case he does get that removed. But let's see. Down into turn 1. Apex keeps 3/10 gap. Does look like he's going to go for a move. It does look so. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. He's going to go back onto the racing line. Is Gattis going to go for a move? No, he's not. He's going to sit behind. Smartly done. And he's going to try and maybe go for a move later on in the lap. Let's go on board with anyone else. Doesn't look there's much fighting going on, so it is going to be just the front 2 looking for positions. As that guy's going down the inside, Apex Capes is going to try and hold it around the outside. It's so close between them guys, but Apex has held it. Apex Capes not defending either into turn 6, and that is just an absolutely unbelievable send by Gattis. It's all heating up now. Gattis making some really bold moves, but they are very fair moves. As we've seen there, you know, anyone could have gone into the side of Apex there, but, you know, Apex giving that respectful room, and Gattis, of course, also not pushing his luck, and he is in P2, but that was really nice to see him looking for a move there, coming towards the dire end of this race. There are people already limping, it looks like, coming through. It does look like Supra is limping home, as he has to go a whole lap by himself with a lap less fuel. Possibly also a Haas in Sector 2. But let's come on board here. Who is going to be the victor on track? Obviously, Apex with that, sorry, Gas with that 3-second penalty is going to lose it. But Gas gets a little bit of squirmish off the final corner, and Apex Keepers is going to win the race in P1. Brilliant for the championship, extends his lead, and Gattis takes a brilliant P2. Alice Kuma with an unbelievable P3, taking that McLaren through to the 3rd position. Unbelievable position, unbelievable race from him. Turbo Sphinx takes a P4. He will 100% take that P4 with Jack in P5. And that is Labrat Dan, who is limping home after possibly getting a P4 or 5 there. And it does look like Polo will take the P6 off him due to him underfueling the car significantly. And coming to the line now, it does look like the McLaren is going to take it off him. And that is such depressing news for Labrat Dan. Mike will not be able to take it off him as it is Smithy coming over the line. But Labrat Dan will take a P7. Disappointing P7, I'm sure, for him. As Smithy taking the fastest lap of anyone, so no one's going to get that for themselves. Mike going to take a P8. Pretty decent from him, I think. You know, P8's not too bad. Obviously, he's only here for a little bit of practice for Tier 3, so good job from him. TTV Cynical will not hold that P9. It will be PS who takes the P9, and looks like Andy Ring is going to try and limp home for the last point position. But here comes, no, Mr. Fear Release run out of fuel, so here comes Big Van Balski. Is he going to be able to come through the field? Is he going to be able to take a decent position here? Is Big Van Balski going to get on the point? In the points? Yes, he is. The Alfa Romeo from nowhere takes a P10. Brilliant result by him to get himself into the top 10. He's played that unbelievably well. Makes some upcoming to the line with Supra, both with no fuel. So many drivers getting caught out with no safety car there and the high fuel loads. And that is brought out a shocking end. Yeah, unbelievably shocking end there. Wow. Very good racing, especially the front. I'm glad we did have that battle at the front because there wasn't too much going on further behind, but that was unbelievable, especially, really the whole race long between Gattis and Apex. Really great battle, and I think, I think we've had some brilliant drives from other guys, but I think, the driver of the day, the two driver of the days there have to go to Apex and Gattis. Brilliant job from both of them, keeping it clean the entire time, pushing it to the absolute limit, but brilliant job by them guys. Lucky Marcus, mate. I think in the end, anyway, mate, fuel would have ruined you. I mean, you could have been, I think I'm looking at Labrat Dan, and he was literally almost behind. He lost about 30 seconds going to the line, and he only had half a lap to go. So I think, multitude of things there went wrong for your man, but that's unfortunate to see. Obviously, the brake test on the first lap, but yeah, I mean, I think in the end, I think fuel would have been your worst nightmare, as I think it has been for a couple of the drivers here today, which is unfortunate to see. Let's go through anyway through all the incidents, so we do have them in store. For any FIA decisions if we do need them, and obviously we'll do the pit stops and everything just to get absolutely everything for the team. There we are, and they are your results. So Apex Keeps takes the win in P1 with Gattis in P2, Alice Kuma in P3 with Josh in P4, Jack in P5, Polo in P6, Labrat Dan in P7, Mike in P8, P9 for PS and P10 for Big Van Balski taking that last point. Out of the points we do have Andy Ring, TTV Syndical, Mr. Fear Elite, Make Some Up, Supra and Smithy taking the fast lap at the end, so there's no extra point going to any of the drivers in the top 10, which I'm sure he's going to be glad about, and that will of course help. I don't know who had it at the time, but probably one of the two leaders, so that may help out some of the guys fighting behind in the championship. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, to any of you, and I hope you did enjoy. Sorry for a little bit of it, issues at the start, but we hopefully you did enjoy the stream anyway. And of course, we will be back on Saturday for Tier 2 at 7:30 PM GMT. Make sure to come and join us then, and yes, also make sure to come and join us next week for Tier 4 Round 10, which will be around Japan, I believe. So I'm sure that'll be a very decent race, and we will have a reasonably large lobby, as we do have pretty much every week now. So yeah, I will join you.